So, welcome to today's webinar. Now, this has come about because in my private coaching, we have an inner circle coaching whereby we work with recruitment directors, recruitment owners from around the world. And it's a private group. We meet once a week online, and we also do one-to-one coaching. This week, we had a session on effectively creating leads, creating incoming leads into the system, so into your recruitment business. And in the inner circle, we have everything from one-man boutiques up to multi-million pound larger enterprises. But there's a consistent problem. The problem is we're doing things the old-fashioned way. And I went through a training which I thought the majority may understand, may get, and not one of the group were applying what we went through. So it seems to me we've got a bit of a need here in recruitment. We're doing things the old way. Just let me ask you a question. Just type in the box. Do you understand what I'm saying by we're still in an environment in recruitment whereby what we're doing is we're still making outbound calls, we're still dependent on consultants finding their own leads, we're still in a position whereby we're largely in an inbound industry or outbound industry. Just type in the box if you can recognize that, and perhaps give me some, an example of any problems you got or challenges you got. The key word that came over on our call on Wednesday that people are getting demoralized by going through this process. It just kills you. And one of our members in the inner circle, this lovely guy based in London, he's in the city. This chap has, his own words were, he's now got to the point whereby he's burnt out. And his exact words were, "This is my last chance to actually to make this work." So what I've noticed is, as an industry, we're doing things wrong. We're doing things wrong. Last year, I got 498 new clients in my own business. I didn't make one outbound call. And for clients of ours, we've brought on board literally over 1,000 new candidates. We brought on new inbound inquiries without making one outbound call. Now, I didn't realize that was so different, and I think that may be why we've had the good fortune in getting the results we have in the industry, because we're doing things that most people aren't doing. So really, the purpose of this now is just to open your eyes to just change some things, guys. Just change the way you're doing business. It doesn't need to be so difficult. But we're so conditioned in our world of recruitment. We do things like when we go out and learn, we go for a half. Can you relate to this? We go and do a half-day session. We go to an event and we have 3 speakers on stage. We get a little bit of content, but we sit there, don't really take on board a lot. But it's good to get out of the office for half a day. We have a jolly afterwards, we have a few drinks, maybe a coffee, then we get back to the office or we go home and we think we've achieved something. But in reality, nothing's changed in our business. And this mindset is symptomatic of recruitment, I believe. I fully believe this mindset is symptomatic of recruitment. We keep doing the same things, we hang out with the same people, and we've got the same problems. We're not doing anything different. And my passion is, as I've made very clearly, all of you on the call are either clients of mine or subscribers, or you've bought one of our products, or you've been to one of our events. So you all know me, and you know that the way we do things differently, and we all start with the end in mind. What are the results we want? And we work backwards. And we're doing things difficult, guys. Cold calling is dead. I know some people will disagree with that and say there'll always be a need for a phone call. Absolutely, I'm not saying that. There will always be a need for you, the recruiter, to do your, as I call it, your voodoo recruiter sales magic in close. That is always going to be needed. That's always needed. I'm not arguing that 1 second, but what I am saying to you is I see so many recruiters tired, burnt out, fed up, demoralized, just getting by each month, getting home late on a Friday and just feeling dead. And we're doing things wrong. As an industry, we're doing things wrong. But, I've make a very clear point. Those that I work with, especially when in terms of either a one-to-one basis or join our coaching, you need to have the right mindset. We turn away more people than we actually accept into the program, because mindset is key. And I do not want to work with dinosaurs who still believe throwing as much brown stuff at the wall is the way forward. And their metrics are purely defined by how many calls are made each day. That's not the way to do business. It's, your own. If you're a business owner, your own consultants are going to get pretty savvy to this soon, and they're going to go and set up alone. And that's problematic for some of our clients. The fact that consultants want to leave and go and do things a little bit smarter. So what I want you to do is just change your mindset. You all are on this call because you know that something needs to change. You all know something needs to change in the business. And what I want you to start to do is look at your business in this way. And we'll go through the infrastructure and the magic that happens behind the scenes in a minute. But what I want you to do is look at this. This isn't new to any of you. We've all seen the funnel. We've all seen 1,000 leads go into the funnel, become prospects, become customers. We've all seen that. That's been around for centuries. Now, in fact, someone just typed in the box 80% inbound in their business, 20% outbound. Now, sorry, your name's not come up. Who is that? Let me know who you are. And if you want to come onto the call and share your insights, please do. So for those of you who have not understood that, someone just typed in the box 80% of their business now is inbound and 20% is outbound. And that is exactly the way your business should be structured. But they appear to have gone a little bit shy. Well, if you do choose to, you want to share your story, please do. But that's the exact sort of figure you should be looking at. That's where you should be moving towards. So this funnel, this isn't new. This funnel's been around for ages and ages. But what is new is how you implement the funnel. Because the funnel exists whether it's outbound, whether it's inbound. The funnel exists in every way. But the challenge is nowadays is making sure that that funnel is now created in a fashion whereby it's leveraged in your favor. It's not about how many calls you can make each day. Nowadays there are so many tools out there. You do not need to be driving your business by seeing how many calls your consultants can make at nowadays. Nowadays you have so much leverage at your fingertips. It is unreal. It is unreal. I'll say those stats again I said 5 minutes ago. Last year, in the 3 months of last year, we brought on board nearly 500 new clients. We didn't make one outbound call. Now, yes, that's for one of our online trainings. But the point I'm making to you is this stuff works. One of our clients has gone through exactly the same process, but with a different outcome in terms of the different drivers to get clients. They're receiving 30 new inbound calls a day. And that's going from a place of being completely outbound to being completely inbound. So for those of you who don't know, just very quickly, I'm just going to draw this up. I'm just going to get my magic pen out, just so you can see what this means in terms of your business. So you all should now see a blank screen. You should see a blank screen. Just type yes in the box if you can see a blank screen. I just want to draw out very, very simply what I'm talking about now from an online infrastructure which is going to give you leads. This is as complex as it needs to get, guys. Okay, so this here is either your website, let's wait for it to catch up. So this here, bear with me 1 second, just gonna apologies for that, guys. The screen was sticking, but you should be able to now see a box in the top left-hand corner. Right, this here, very simply, is your website. So you've all got websites. 99% of your websites they need to change, to be blunt. I look at 100 websites a month, and 99% of them are not doing anything in terms of actually driving your business forward into the 21st century. You're doing things the old way. It's there as almost like a business card. This is your website. Now, what happens to your website? You get visitors to your website. So this cloud down here, we all know, is visitors. Now what happens? You come to your website and nothing else happens. You spend this money on SEO, you have a website built, you're very proud of it, you've got a lovely new logo. Now what happens? They come to your website and you hope they look at your website and they say, do you know what, this looks like a professional company, I want to do business with them, I'll give them a call. Now how often does that happen? That doesn't happen very often in that manner. Maybe for the odd one out of you because you're doing other things, but that doesn't happen. Now what you need to do is create the following infrastructure, very, very simply. Your website. You need to have a mechanism to obtain data. And I'm talking, this is just base simple. I'm going to show you the exact system we use. I'm going to show you a system that you can set up literally in 3 minutes and it costs you $19 a month. But then your visitors come to your website, and traffic we'll talk about later. They come to your website, then what happens? They give you their email address. But then what happens? You then create a relationship with them. You create a relationship with them. You speak to them via email, via webinar, via video, via an article. And don't worry, that sounds like a lot. I'm going to show you in a minute how it's not a lot. But what happens is you start communicating with them on day 1, on day 3, on day 5, and so forth. Now, what do you do in this process? In this process, you then, everything you do on the phone, so you overcome objections on the phone, you try and get them to know, like, and trust your brand, you try and give them case studies. This here is what you're going to do in this process. And I'm going to show you the exact system we use. I'm going to show you how we did to get 498 new clients. But the minute you're getting your prospects on the phone, you're trying to build rapport, you're trying to build a relationship, you're trying to overcome objections, you're trying to then take them down to become a prospect into your own funnel. You're doing that on the phone, and you wonder why your consultants are getting drained. Now, what should be happening is in your business, you should be doing this online. Because when you do this online, you're then going to create that 1,000 leads becomes 10 hot prospects or 100 hot prospects. So your key challenge then becomes getting data into the system. It is not about how many outbound calls you can make. And there is data everywhere. For each and every niche you're in, I guarantee you we can find a database tomorrow with 50,000 plus candidates, or if it's clients you're looking for, you'll virtually full client base and have someone else email them on your behalf for dollars. I've just got off a call with one of the members of our inner circle. I've explained to him how we've in the past had 50,000 candidates in one of our niches for one of our clients. 50,000 were emailed 3 times for $50, and that's from a high traffic blog. So you don't have to worry about getting traffic to your website. It's what you do when they come to your website. So why have an automated framework? Well, you need to capture your data. Data is the lifeblood of your business. It's the lifeblood of your lead generation. Now you can take your sales process, your telephone calls, and all the fancy scripts and all the objections you overcome. You can take all that online. So when you speak to your prospects on the phone, they're already hot. You've already overcome the objections. Your sales team are going to be much happier to be in a position like this, trust me. This can run evergreen. You can run this in the background 24/7. You get fresh live data every day. So I'm going to show you in a minute how you can do this, but you can actually come in the morning and you'll have fresh leads in your inbox, or in fact it'd be in an Excel spreadsheet if you use the survey approach, which I recommend. So you can get information from your candidates, from your clients, whichever information you want. So about the current project they're on, about the number in their team, the new hires looking for. And of course, when you write the survey, you don't just write it in that language, you write it subliminally. But you can elicit so much data. You communicate daily with your prospect. Now, most of you, and I'm guessing this, but I've speak to a hell of a lot of recruiters. Most of you speak to one client, and maybe the second Tuesday of the month, every 2 months. And that's how you interface your client. And you wonder why you've got no relationship with them. Or you only speak to clients when you want something. Same with candidates. When you communicate, and I do recommend you communicate on a regular basis, when you communicate regularly, you become trusted. You can engage with clients. And when you automate this process, it runs in the background. You're not having to write an email. How many times you say, right, I'm going to write a blog or write an email, and then life gets in the way. A phone call comes in. You have to pick your kids up from school. Something happens, and it doesn't happen. If you automate it in the background, it can run for a year. Once it's done once, it's done forever. And you could do this on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do in my own business. So there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no that sounds too good to be true. I'm going to show you the exact system I use in my business in the exact way we use it. And this is key. You can overcome objections in your communications. So when you speak to your prospects on the phone, you've already overcome their challenges. Now consider this. When you speak to someone now, when you end the call phone goes down, you make a note in your diary, I'll speak to him 4 weeks Thursday. Now, how about if you added that person to your automated system, to an automated lead generation process? In that process, you tell them why your company. You overcome the objections. You give them case studies of results. By the way, that's your sales piece. You link them to an automated webinar. So rather than just do the same thing, just talk to them, you may hold a webinar where you're speaking with an expert. And in fact, if I think we've got Charles on the call, Charles is actually going to be creating a webinar to actually pitch. So ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Charles got an awesome USP for his business. And all of you have got an awesome USP, by the way. You just don't know what it is. He's got a USP. And so rather than his consultants go out and pitch on the phone, we're creating this exact funnel for his business. And whereby what will happen is he'll have an automated webinar. So then prospects will come to his webpage. They will click on the webinar. It will look like a live webinar. But then in that process, it'd be story based, but in fact, what he's doing is pitching his business for their placements, for their work. But you do it in a way that you add in value. But this is all completely automated. So then the problem comes to Charles, not about having to make 10 pitches a day on the phone, hoping that one comes off. The problem then becomes, how do we get data into the system? There's data everywhere, guys. There's data on Facebook, LinkedIn, lists, email. There's data everywhere. Blogs, it's everywhere. Data isn't a problem. Building this framework, this is the future. If you don't do this, your competitors will. Now, what happens when you do this? You take your prospects through a funnel. As I say, what I'd be looking to do if I was you, I'd be looking to get information from your candidates, from your clients, elicit their information, and then you can survey them. And when you survey them, you've then got gold dust for your consultants when they speak to them. So from a candidate perspective, which company do they want to work for? What's their drivers for moving? This is so much more powerful than what we do at the moment. We pick up the call and just hope to build that rapport and get a decision from a candidate or client. And when you do this, you get leads for your consultants. So say the challenge becomes getting data into the funnel. And there's data everywhere, guys. That isn't the challenge. Once you get that funnel in place, online funnel, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, how simple it is. It then becomes, your business is not cold calling based. It is completely following up on leads. You'll come in the morning, there'll be leads in your business, then you pick up the phone in response to them requesting information from you. It just changes on its head. But unfortunately, guys, in recruitment, as an industry, and I've been saying this for years, we lag 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years behind other comparable industries. We're just moving so quickly, we haven't got time to slow down and stop the car and see that we've got a flat tire. Guys, we've got a flat tire. Now's the time to change it, because someone else is going to fix this tire and move on. And they'll be moving 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour quicker than you, very quickly. Because with this, you can scale your business very quickly. If indeed it is Charles I was speaking to just now, we're explaining that once we've got this process working for him, if he's got 4 consultants in his business, there's only so many calls they can make a day. But then if you've got this process in place, and the process I'm going to show you takes a few hours to set up, literally a few hours, rather than watch a film Sunday afternoon, do this. Once you've got this process set up, then it's about scaling your business. All you do is throw more leads into the hop. Because you know if you throw 100 leads in, 30 are going to go to whatever point in the process, 10 are going to want to engage with you. Out of that 10, 2 become clients. So if you throw 1,000 into the funnel, 20 become clients. So then your job becomes getting data into the funnel. It's all science-based. There's no guesswork, no metric. But don't feel scared by the word science and metrics. This is simpler than picking up the phone. In fact, I don't know how you guys do it. I'm tipping my cap to you. I couldn't do what you guys do. Couldn't do it. So, what's the components of the framework? Very, very simply, it's your website. Well, if your website doesn't exist in this way, it's a squeeze page. I'm going to show you the squeeze pages we use, how you can set them up in a couple of minutes. An autoresponder, we'll come to what that is in a minute. And an autoresponder sequence, very simply, that's just a set of emails. I'm not going to complicate this just yet. So the website squeeze page. Well, your website needs to have a place where you can capture data. If you do not have a place where you can capture the email address, you're missing out on, as well, I'm almost gobsmacked about the amount you're missing out on, because I believe from the metrics I've seen in my own business and clients' businesses, you're probably missing out on 90% of communication with clients and candidates if you're not capturing that data. If you've got a website without data capture, you think that people are not going to come to your website, whether it be clients, candidates, prospects. They're not going to come to your website and think, I want to do business with this person. You need to build that relationship. In the old days, when I say old days, I'm showing my age now, but 10 years ago, it was said that we need to interface with someone 7 times, or with a product before we see it 7 times before we actually buy from them. Nowadays, it is 10 times that. So you need to be using the data you get. Picking up the phone is not going to do it. And I sense the frustration and the pain from all my clients, and who've come to us, and they've been working in an outbound environment. It kills you. So I'm going to show you now. If you've got a website and you're thinking, I don't want to change my website, I can't do that, I don't want to be doing that anymore, I've worked on it already, we spent £20,000 to get it done. Believe me, your coder could change it for a few dollars. Now, what we use in our business, I'm going to show you now, is something called lead pages. Now, lead pages is a platform. I've spent in the last 6 months around $10,000 on different platforms, and I will continue to do so because it's the lifeblood of my business and my client's business. But this here, I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen, but in the background there's a video moving, and you've probably not seen a page like this before. But what it does, it's been designed specifically. So in the background there's a video moving. It looks like New York. But when the prospect comes to this page, over 50% of people who come to this page are going to give us their details. Then they're going to go into an autoresponder, and we're going to build a relationship with them. And that's all it is. Now, for your business, this here you can set up, and I'll show you how we set this up now. If I go to my own lead pages, if it's open, there we go. So this here is the inside of one of my lead pages. And as you can see, if we look down at the bottom, out of 241 people who came to that page, 115 signed up. So 48% of people signed up for us. Now, this becomes important for you. For what reason? Consider this. In your business, you've built a website. When you make outbound calls, you deal with metrics. You make 10 calls and you hope that one person will come off. In reality, it's probably 1 in 40, 1 in 50. But consider this for your business. If, say, 100 people come to your website, say 10 give you their details. Of those 10, 1 become a client. So 1 in 10 who give their details become a client because they go through an autoresponder sequence I'm going to show you in a minute. Now imagine that 50% sign up. So 5 times more sign up. That's 5 times more profit in your business. And what have you done? You've just tweaked your homepage, your web page. So when we do our own web pages, when we do our own webinars, so when you sign up for my webinar, for example, we got on average about 53% of people sign up for our webinars. The industry average, even in the marketing world, is 30%. We've been doing this 17 years now, this tweak. But what it means is, our own business, we can grow by 4, 5, 6, 7 times. When we work with clients, we can tweak their business so it grows by 4, 5, 6, 7 times. But if you haven't got this on your homepage, a place to take data, you're going to keep doing the same things. And if you send out an email blast once every week, that isn't going to do it, guys. All you're going to do is peeve off your prospect, or they're just going to see you as someone who just is literally doing that, just sending out a blast on the vain hope. Send out an email to 10,000 people on the vain hope that 20 come back and we meet 5 of them, and then I've made a profit. People are getting desensitized now. You need to build a relationship. So lead pages I'd recommend. Now, if you want me to introduce you to that, we might be able to get a discount code for you. But what you can do is, where we got this page here, where we got the box at the bottom, in lead pages, you can take, like the box you can see here, the white box, you can take the equivalent and literally just place it onto your website. Very, very simple. So that'd be the first thing to do. And just so you know, I'm about as technical as a bar of chocolate, and even I can do this. And if I actually click on, if I edit a page here, and I'll show you. In fact, it's taken a long time, so, well, there we go. So this is for a webinar we did on the 14th of January. And as you can see, I'm going to click on the headline. And you can see how simple it is. It's really idiot proof, which is a good job for me. So it's very, very simple. Now, am I telling you that's all you need? No, I'm not. I'd be lying to you if I told you that's all you need. But what I'm saying to you is, do not be scared of making these changes in your business, because you've been doing things, you've been conditioned by, to be blunt, a lot of bullshit marketers out there as well, who've told you that you need to just write just an ebook and then everyone will come to your website, or you've been told you need to have a Twitter page, a Facebook page, and all these wonderful different things, but you haven't actually got a process. You haven't actually done what the outcome is going to be. So what I'm saying to you is these things are simple. Now, in terms of the actual autoresponder itself, this is what we use in my business. And I'm going to give you the psychology behind this. So we've got a LinkedIn product, and that LinkedIn product, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies who use this training all around the world. But what happens is this: when someone signs up for a webinar, for a LinkedIn webinar, on day 0, so left-hand side here, they get the webinar details straight away. Then on day 1, they get this email. This is all automated. That isn't coming up for some reason. I'll just give you the actual emails if possible. So as you can see, that's the email they get on day 1. Then on day 3, they get another email. On day 6, they get another email. Then day 8. Now, what do these emails say? Well, the very, very first email, these people don't know me. They signed up for a webinar. Most of them have either come from Australia, they come from United States, and they don't know me. So who's Andy? So they found me on a blog, or they found me in an article or in a magazine, and they've clicked on it. So the very first article, it's an interview where I'm working with the Director General of the Institute of Recruiters, so probably one of the most powerful men in the UK in terms of recruitment. And it's a podcast we're doing together. So the very first one is saying, well, do you know what, Andy must be able to walk the walk, because he's working with, interviewing with the top man in the UK. So there's social proof there. The third one is a testimonial saying the effect of my business has been transformational. The next one goes into a bit of one of the strategies they can use. The 8th one details how one of the users of the program got 100,000 euros worth of business in a few weeks using one of our LinkedIn strategies. So what we're doing is we're giving them positioning and we're giving them content. Then day 14, it's a video of me, and it's a very passionate video where I've just come out of a client's office, and to be honest, I'm very peeved. I'm angry because the client wouldn't listen to me about how he needs to adopt mobile into his business, and it's me just talking on my iPhone. But they can see the passion I've got for what I do, and it comes across. But all this here, guys, this is all automated. So my job for the next, if I want to keep selling the LinkedIn training, all I need to do is put data into the funnel. Now, I don't do that. I've got joint venture affiliates. So I've got people who go out to websites, they find partners, and they email on our behalf. It's all automated. There's no reason you can't do this. Whatever industry you're in, there is someone out there with a blog who gets thousands and thousands of readers. There's someone out there who's got a Twitter following of 50,000. Someone who's written a book. Getting data is not a problem. But once you automate this, it's done. And to set this process up, literally you click on this and you type out the email, and that's it. You could do this in a Sunday afternoon for your first month easily. Easily. So you're building that relationship. It really is simple. But then the joy is for you. What you can do is you can direct your candidates and your clients. So you give content, you give case studies, and in different trainings, I recommend always that your content's actually written by an expert. You don't write it yourself. You get an Amazon author, an industry leader to write the content. How do you do that? Well, there's 1,000 strategies. But what you do is recruiters, you then survey your clients, you survey your candidates. So you simply direct them towards a survey. So here's one of our surveys. This is SurveyMonkey. It takes 5 minutes to write this. So we direct people towards this survey, and if we think they're of the right ilk to join one of our coaching programs, we'll then move into a phone call. Most don't actually make it. But what happens is, we just send out a link with that survey. You do exactly the same, guys. Rather than try and find out what your candidates' drivers are to move, find out where your client is in the business, you can survey them. Now, you may be asking, yeah, why are they going to do that? You give an incentive. You swap it you give them some good content, and say the content you shouldn't be writing, really. It should be written by an expert. Unless you've got the time, then fantastic. But really, there's so much content out there, you can get someone else to do it. So this here is an autoresponder. There's nothing complex at all. And what happens with the survey? That survey gets populated every single day. So your consultants come in, they got 15 new leads, got 20 new leads. You've got candidates who've come to you. You've got clients who filled out the survey. You're not making any outbound calls. There's a whole raft of different strategies you can use, but just very simply, just to take the fear away, that's what you can do. So in terms of the website or squeeze page, you need that opt-in box. Now, I've mentioned before the importance of metrics. So if you look here, you can see in my business, a key driver is metrics. What do we convert? So on this page, we've got 76% converted. You can see above 62% converted. So we're going to change our page. We've tested it. Now, in your business, what would it mean if 10% more leads came in your business every day? What would it mean if you had 10% more profit in your business? Would that buy a new car over the course of a year? Or maybe a month for some of you? But we're doing things the hard way by just using the phone. So an autoresponder, very simply, as you've seen, is just another fancy term. And to be honest, most of this stuff out there is just fancy terms. It's just a fancy term for a number of automated pre-written emails that get sent to your subscribers in a sequential order. This is different than a broadcast, which is a one-time message that gets sent to all of your subscribers. So it's a set of pre-written emails. That's all it is. Now here, to get the biggest response from your clients and candidates, it's essential your autoresponder has the right information in it at the right time in the right order. So this is what to do and what not to do. So this can literally add 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% response rate, i.e. more leads, or remove them from your business. So these are examples of what to do. So the first option is someone comes to your website, they opt in. So they opt in, give you the email address. Or you might have a database already, guys. If you've got a database already and then you apply what I'm showing you, you could create an autoresponder and then just replace your entire database into the sequence. And for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it's automated. Just take out that Sunday afternoon and do it. So they get a welcome email. Then this is what I'm a big advocate of. Content, and then a related promotion. So for all you guys here, lots on the call and our clients already, you know that the way most of you have seen 2 or 3 webinars of mine, and then you approach us and you say, hey, Andy, have you got any programs? That's how most of you become clients. You've seen us give content, you've seen us give you content, whether it be in this sort of strategy, whether it be in LinkedIn, or whatever it might be. You've seen us give you great content time and time again. And by the 2nd or 3rd webinar, most of you have come to us and said, can we work with you? And that's how it works. Other cases, we've done content, and we've actually said, right, we've got a new program available. But what we're doing though, we're proving that we can walk the walk. We're proving we actually care about you. And for those of you who email me, you know that we get back to you. And for those of you who are clients of mine, you know that I'm passionate about taking care of you in your business. You know that. And you demonstrate that by giving content. Now, most of you in recruitment, I'm signed up to a lot of different recruitment businesses around the world. 99% of them just send out job, blog, which you can tell has been hastily put together just with the intent of trying to get something out there, which is better than nothing, but still not doing the job. I'll give you the exact metrics on what your content should be made of in a minute. But when you give content, then you give a related promotion. So for you guys, it'd be content, and then you may be discussing you got a new option, a new job. So if you're contacting candidates, you may want to talk about Germany. And then after that, the next email may be jobs in Germany. But what most recruitment businesses do is the same as everyone else. They think, 'cause they send out more emails, or they shout louder, or put a funny title in the email, they think that they get a bigger response. Guys, you're just fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. Candidates are getting desensitized, and you wonder why you're getting poor open rates. You wonder why email's not working for you. So it's content, related promotion, product being either your job or trying to get the client on board. Option 2, welcome email. Promotion, I've got a job. Promotion, I've got a job. Promotion, I've got a job. That's the way not to do it, guys. But even that's an improvement on most that we see. That's the way not to do it. Now, this is a fabulous way to do it, and this is the key way. And this is what, if Charles is on board still, if it is Charles from I was speaking with earlier, this is the mechanism I want Charles to take. Opt-in, welcome email, content, engagement. In that engagement, you then drive you've demonstrated such value to your client or to your prospect that they then move into a position where they take it offline. And we'll come to the offline approach in a minute. But when you give good content and then you engage, so like we're doing a webinar now, believe me, guys, you're doing something that nobody in recruitment is doing. Nobody in recruitment is doing this. That's why everyone in my inner circle, I know where your business is going to be in 6 months, because you're doing things different from the rest of the herd. Content, engage. You engage like we're doing on the webinar now. You do not just pitch. Think about yourselves. When you get emails from people, what annoys you? What do you like? Who do you trust? Why do you do business with people? When you go and buy a car, you hate when someone comes over and they try and pitch you a car straight away. We hate that. We want someone who can educate us, someone who can guide us, someone who gives us a bit of background. May give us a test drive. What have they done there? They've given us content. They've engaged. Now you trust them. But what most of us do is try and pitch the sale down the throat. Now, this is a very clever way of doing things, and this is a way that I would like some of you to think about doing as well. So you get the data, they come to your website. Welcome email, content. Content can be a video, it can be a podcast, it can be anything. It can be an article, it can be just an email. But then you take them offline to demonstrate your experience, demonstrate your background. So in this case, talking about a blog post. And from the blog post, you then direct them to take a call to action. The call to action could be to fill out a survey if it's a candidate, or it could be to take it offline and actually speak with the client. But all this is done automatically in the background. You're not doing any of this. All you're doing is you set up once and it runs, and your job becomes getting data into the system. And guys, how much easier would your life be if your job was to speak to blog owners, or speak to authors, or speak to email database owners and say, hey, can you send me 10,000 of your email addresses? Why should I do that? Well, I'm going to pay you $200, or I'm going to promote back for you. Life becomes so much more easier when that's your biggest stress than getting on the phone, outbound. It's demoralizing, guys. As you see at the bottom, we've moved into Facebook. I was just chatting to someone about Facebook just now. We've got YouTube and we've got blog posts. But when you bring this together, you're building an online territory. People will start to Google and find your name. But when you automate the process, when you've got YouTube out there, when you've got blogs out there, when you've got Facebook out there, what happens is you're found in the search engines. Then what happens? They come to your website and they opt in. Then these people become part of your process, and it becomes self-fulfilling. So once you set it up, it will eventually, not straight away, it will run organically. Is there a bit of pain initially? I'd be lying if I said there wasn't. Of course there's a bit of pain. But you're setting up a business asset here, guys. This isn't a quick one-stop shop. You're setting up a business. This is your life. This is your life now. This is your business we're talking about. These are the very foundations of the lifeblood of your business. I cannot stress how important this is. If you choose to ignore this, believe me, in a year's time, you'll probably come back and say, hey, can we join? We have that happen now already. People are seeing how things have changed. If you're going to rely on just doing what you've done for the last 10 years, you may as well give up now, because things have changed, guys. They've changed. And this is the way not to do it. Hey, we set up an opt-in box. Yeah, we've done it. We've put up an email. Someone gives us an email. What happens? They get a welcome email, nothing else. You've just wasted your time. All you've done is just annoy them. So how much is that costing me? One of you said, well, it's not even believable how cheap these things are. These are for which cost you around $19 to $40 a month for about a 10,000 candidate database. Aweber, Constant Contact, Get Response is the one I've just shown you. iContact, I've used all of these. Aweber's got a bit too complex with the interface. Constant Contact, customer service I'm not happy with, although they've got a very good function which I'll tell you about now. iContact, when you upload your leads, they can be quite problematic. Get Response have been the best for me all around. Now consider this. When you send out for a job to your candidates, you send out an email to 5,000 candidates, 500 candidates. Then what happens is we hope that one candidate will email us back. Now, what Constant Contact can do, in fact, one of our members of the Inner Circle are now using this. When you send out an email, it will tell you who opened the email, at what time they opened it, and how many times they opened it. So let's say you sent out that email for a new job in Germany. And let's say that Fred has opened it at 3 p.m. He's then opened it again at 7 p.m., again at 7:04 p.m. That means he's interested in that job. He's obviously looked at the email in the afternoon at work. He's got home, shown his wife again the email. Now you've got someone to follow up. You've got a scientific hot lead. He's opened that email 3 times. Now, is that going to be more of use to you in the approach you may be taking already? So there's so many things you can do here which can just change the way you do business. And I'm only touching at the beginning here. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And I told you the key thing is getting data into the system, which I'll come to. But I want to demonstrate to you if this. We can show you how to set this up very, very quickly. Very quickly. So the autoresponder sequence, I've shown you the background, how to set up Get Response and what we do in our own business. And it's so simple. These are the rules you need to apply by when you engage. You have 2 autoresponders, one for your clients, one for your candidates. Why is that? Because some of your messages will be different. There'll be a different call to action. The content can be the same, but there'll be a different call to action. Now, the way that you should actually engage is 50% content, 25% engagement, 25% sales. If any of you read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, he talks about the law of reciprocity. When you give, as humans, it's instinctual that we want to reciprocate and give something back. When you give content, and this isn't a conscious behavior, by the way, 90% of our behavior is subconscious, as we know. This is something that happens subconsciously. When you give content, what's going to happen is subconsciously that prospect's going to start to trust you. They're going to start to trust you. And so you give content, then you engage, and then you give the sales. Your results will grow exponentially. Exponentially. So what are the content components of the framework? Well, the key thing is, as always, you start with the end in mind. So what's the outcome you desire? You want candidates to submit their personal circumstances. So what do I mean by that? In the past, when we've worked with clients, we've sat with the client and they've told us what information they want. But then what we've done is we sat with the consultants and we said, right, what would make your life easy? What would be the golden bullet for you? Well, we want to know what would be the driver for our candidate to move. What would get the candidate to move? So with this, we then identified that knowing what their dream company is, knowing whether it's promotion or an increase in salary, what's their driver to move? And you can elicit this information from a survey. But when you survey, you don't just survey and ask them these questions. You subliminally ask the questions. You ask 8 to 12 questions when you're surveying in this way. Half the questions are about a topic. So you need to. It could be you're putting on a webinar with a speaker. So half the questions are about the topic, half are about the candidate themselves. But you write it in a way that you elicit information. Then what happens? Your consultants have got gold dust, and they pick up the phone and they discuss the fact that the person's applied maybe for a ticket to fill out the survey, because in return for filling out the survey, they're getting a ticket to an event. Your consultants are now doing, quote, their voodoo magic, and they've built rapport, and before you know it, you know about the project details, you know what's happening in terms of the next set of budgetary requirements, you know the team leaders' names and so forth. Does this work? Yes, we've done this. This isn't rocket science, guys. This is something that's been happening for a long, long time, just that now we do it online. Now for clients, what do you want the clients to do? You want to direct them to a webinar so you can actually pitch your wares, but in a content way? What do you want your client to do? But you always start with the outcome in mind. What action do you want? It'll be different for each of you. So your job is to not get as many calls in a day as possible. Those times are gone. This is the key learning. Your job is to influence, engage, and elicit an action from a prospect. Use that funnel approach. Get as many leads into the funnel as possible. Get as many leads into the funnel as possible. And then you build a long-term asset. We're building a business asset. I can't stress that enough. This isn't a quick fix. Like we make a call. Everyone says to me, when we work with our coaching clients, one of the questions I ask them is, if I could do one thing, what would be the one key outcome for you? For some people, it's get me in front of the decision maker. Get me seen as an authority. Get me incoming leads online. I hate the phone. I hate being face-to-face, so we get a different outcome. But when you take this approach, what you're doing is you're building an asset. That data is going to grow and grow and grow. Now, if you engage in the right way, you're only going to grow as well. So my business will never decrease in terms of its monetary value and our revenue. Why? Because we've got the structure in place. Every day, more and more people come into my business. More and more recruiters, HR directors come into my business. Every single day, it grows, and it's automated. For the clients we've worked with in the past, we've implemented this. Exactly the same for them. As long as they keep doing what they've been shown, they bring more data into the funnel. You set the funnel up once. So the key question is, and that is the killer, how do we get the data? Well, data is everywhere, guys. Data is everywhere. But the key thing is knowing this, and what I've just shown you is not enough. I've not shown you really how to do it, I've shown you what to do in a lot of ways. But knowing this is not enough. Now, in the summer of last year, I spoke at the UK's largest recruitment conference. I spoke on stage alongside Facebook, alongside LinkedIn. And it was a great day. But at the end of that session, though, instead of like hanging around for the drinks and whatever else happens at these sessions, I got into a cab. I went to King's Cross. I went to meet my mentor. I've got a mentor. And this mentor showed me, I've been using webinars for years and years, but this is one of the very best in the industry. And I've paid up to $25,000 for my own coaching and my own mentoring. But he showed me another way of using webinars. And that one meeting added $75,000 to my own business in the following 3 months. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you because the online world changes at a pace. I've just learned in the last few weeks that, did you know you can do this? That you could actually, if you've got 5,000 business people you want to be doing, well, let's say clients that you want to be building an influence with and become your clients, do you know you could take those 5,000 people, upload them into a certain element of Facebook, so every time they log onto Facebook, just those 5,000 people will see your face, will see an ad by you, will see your brand, and you can pay literally a couple of cents for that. Did you know you could do that? Well, I didn't, but one of my partners has just got back from the United States in Memphis, and he spent over $10,000 for that training. So what I'm saying to you, things are changing quickly. They're changing very, very quickly at a pace, and I spend thousands and thousands doing this every month. I've got my own mentors, Rich Sheffrin. I spent over $25,000 with Jay Abraham. But you need to be applying what we're showing you. And this is the key thing of your communication. So your communication. Forbes magazine says when you communicate with your autoresponder, it's not about you, it's not about your company, It's not about your products or services. It's about meeting customer needs and adding value. When you start paying more attention to your customer needs than your revenue needs, you'll find you no longer have a revenue problem. So you see what we're saying there? You're adding value. Well, we get told quite often that the webinars we do, we get those on the webinar get more value out of the webinar than they do for webinars they spent $197 on. The webinars we do are free. We're giving value. But again, law of reciprocation, demonstrating what we can do. Human nature, same in your business. Don't try and break something that's been proven again and again and again. Now, there's an art and a science to the way you're going to apply this. In May 2012, a client of ours, John, came to us for help. He spent years cold calling, thinking it was the answer to get more placements, like most recruiters. And his business was built on a model of, we see how many CVs we can get out, check 1. How many interviews we can get, check 2. How many do we actually get on board, check 3. That was his 3 metrics, but it wasn't working. It just wasn't working, and the money wasn't coming in. But this is the key thing. Recruitment's changed. The science is closing the sale, and this is what you guys do. The science is closing the sale. Everyone who joins my inner circle, I say to them, and if any of you are on, we've got someone on the call now, the key thing is you are salespeople. You need to be closing the deal. But the landscape's changed now. The art is building the lead generation funnel so clients are warm and ready to be closed. That's what's changed in recruitment. That's where we need to be looking at our entire business in a different model. The art is building the lead generation funnel. The art is what I do. The science is what you do. Nowadays, you need both. You need both. If you're going to stick with just the science, like Kodak went out of business very quickly. I'm not saying that as a scary tactic. It's we all know ourselves, the metrics and the results are getting tougher and tougher and tougher. And my clients that I'm working with, we know where they're going. But please start to look at your business in 2 different streams now, the science and the art, because that is what business is nowadays. And say the online space is moving so quickly. I've spent over $50,000 in the last 12 months. So I'm saying this because I first got into, I was actually asked to start distributing my own trainers more online by 2 of my own mentors again, Mike Walmsley and Roy Ripper. So you need to be getting this out there because there's so much BS in the market, and it's true. But if you follow the steps I lay out, you will become the expert in your recruitment niche. You'll have so much, you'll be out there in such a big way that you will be seen as a leader in your niche. You will be a market force, and you'll get clients and candidates approaching you. You will. It's a framework. It works. It works every time. But again, if you implement it. This chap got £100,000 worth of new business I mentioned before, just in 8 weeks. Rima, number 1 out of nearly 5 million results straight away. Roy's one of the world leaders in recruitment. He got £30,000 worth of new business in 1 hour by applying one of the strategies. In fact, a webinar strategy, Charles. So what I'm showing you works. So don't waste any more time with your money, trying to figure it out on your own. Now start right now and start to get this retained mindset. Let's not go out there and work contingency. It's a killer. But you can't do that unless you're in that position until you're demonstrating market positioning, leadership. But by implementing your strategies, you will be able to automate your system. You will become the expert in your niche. Like Mike Walmsley again. If you look at the quote at the bottom, I've been privy to the world's leading recruitment growth experts. In all my time, I've never seen strategies attained for my clients like those achieved for Andy. So we're the last day of January. Some of you on board have joined our Inner Circle. And our Inner Circle is a 6-month program. It's the last day of January. And today's the last day for anyone to join us in this intake. We'll say the opportunity to work with me is not for everyone. You know, we're very specific about who we work with. But if what I've shown you there, if you want your business to take on that remit and that structure, if you go to tidyurl.com/authority, there's an application form there. About 20 questions, but it's just going to let us see very quickly whether I think we can work together, I can help your business. But if you go to tidyurl.com/authority, if what you've seen there you want in your business, fill out the form, and we'll see whether we can work together. So it's not going to be for everybody. We're very very certain about the individuals we bring into the program in the business we do. But what I do guarantee is, if you apply what I'm showing you, you will get the results, and you'll get the results like I've mentioned before. But knowing is not enough. So I'm conscious of time. We're coming to the top of the hour. No, this isn't an automated webinar, whoever's asked that. So whoever, if you've taken anything from that on board, from what I've just said there, we'll just demonstrate there. If you want that in your business, go to tidyurl.com/authority, and I'll review your application, and I'll get back to you. Just very simply though, whatever you do, you need to be changing the way you do business, guys, because I get frustrated for those who come to me, and we can't work with everybody. But what I do guarantee is, if we do have if I look at your application form and I think we're a good fit, then we will transform your business if you apply what we're showing you. So if you've got any questions, just very quickly type them in the box. I just want to be respectful. It's late on Friday afternoon in the UK, and I think most of you are from the United States by the looks of it. Thanks, Lily. Thanks, Sila. Thanks, Ava. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, wonderful, guys. Yep, Lisa. If you go to, it's tidyurl.com/authority. I'll just type it in the box so you've got it. There you go. Hopefully that's good, Lisa. No, it's completely confidential, Mark. The only people who read that is myself and my PA, so it goes no further. And what will happen is, Louise or Emily will get back to you in the next couple of days, and we'll speak early next week, and then we'll move forward from that point. And no, it isn't just on this. Good question. Thanks for that, Ruby. No, Ruby's asked, is this what it's about, building up this autoresponder? No, we do everything. So we got, for example, one company from Azerbaijan is completely new, so we're doing everything from directing them with website design, logos, building a candidate database, building a client database, building a LinkedIn network, joining the right bodies. We've got people in the UK who are putting on their first event. So these are individuals and companies who've never put on an event before, not seen as a player in the market. Within a few weeks of joining us, they're putting on an event. They've got 3 of the top speakers in the industry speaking at the event. They've got decision makers who previously they've been trying to get on the phone for months and months and months, now phoning them to see if they can actually come to their event. So they've now got that authority positioning. We've got those who are looking to find ways of using pay-per-click, so we're directing them whether to use Facebook, LinkedIn. We've got those who are, we've got everything. We've got it's business growth we focus on. Great question, but it's business growth and really leveraging the tools you've got to hand nowadays. So that's what we do. Yep, we've got, great question, Jessica. Yeah, Jessica's asked a question about Amazon. I have sent out an email about Amazon before. We've got those who are writing books who will become bestsellers within a couple of weeks on Amazon. The strategies we use for that. So what it's about, you becoming the expert in your niche. It's about you becoming the expert in your niche very, very quickly. But what I've wanted to demonstrate to you on this training today is that it's thinking outside the box and starting to look at your business as a long-term asset and get away from making 250 phone calls and getting through to 4 decision makers. That's an actual stat by someone. We want you to now look at your business, actually start enjoying it again, but ultimately get paid more, because that's where it really counts for you guys, and that's where it counts for us as well. So it's about opening your eyes to what you can do. But for me, everything we show you, we've either done with a client and got massive results, I've done myself and got massive results. I've done it before and I failed ridiculously. I failed hugely and I've learned the hard way. But I've been doing this 17 years now. So it is my passion. I've been asked to speak at all manner of events, the marketing summit in Canada most recently, the end of March. So it's what we do. I'm passionate about it. But for you guys, it's just in the recruitment world, we get caught on this spinning wheel of trying to make enough calls, keep the money coming in, but then forgetting what we've been shown. And that's why we've started the Inner Circle. It's because it's that ongoing support. We speak to you as you need it. We have once a week a training session and a group coaching. And during the week, if we need to speak, we'll speak then as well. Some people contact me every day via email. Other people we speak once every couple of weeks. It's down to the company, down to the individual. Thanks, Mark. No, great question. In terms to answer to the question on, thank you I can't see the name, but thank you for the lovely comments. If you fill out the application form, Louise will advise about the cost. She does apply a scholarship for those in different positions. So if you fill out the form, Louise will speak to you about the actual cost as such. But believe me, it's nothing like what you think it's going to be. It will be growing. It will be growing in terms of the cost. But for this intake, we're the last day of January. This is the final day we're doing this. And so if you fill out the form, Louise will speak to you around that. Whoever's written that, one-man band with massive ambitions. We've got a lot of one-man boutique companies in the inner circle, all with huge ambitions. So you're being good hands there. When you do fill out the application form, do let me know what niche you're in, because that's key. The niche you're in is absolutely key. The first thing we do, we have a strategy session which can last from anything from 1.5 hours to 4 hours at the longest. In that 4 hours, we lay out the roadmap for you personally, your own personal roadmap for the next 6 months. Then we put in place a 60-day goal. So we want to get you moving quickly. We want results quickly. I don't buy into this. We'll build your brand, or we'll build wonderful social media webs out there. No, we want you to get money in your bank. That's the bottom line. And in fact, on the first session, we take down your metrics. We take down what your placements were last year, what you earned last year, and we take down what you want in the next 6 months. And then we can see just how successful we've been as a team. So we really do put our proverbial, excuse my French, but balls on the line with this as well. But it's two-way. We step up. If you step up, you will get the results. So yeah, let me know what niche you're in on the application form, and we'll speak if it's a good fit. Because I say, we turn away more than we actually accept into this, but that's just because it's not a right fit at the time. There can be a number of reasons. So yeah, if you fill out the form, thanks for that. Again, I can't see what you. Thanks for the lovely comments, but I can't see what your name is. It says friends. Thank you, Lily. Will do. Thank you for that, Lily. It's 6 months. The inner circle 6 months, but when you fill out the application form, if we speak, there's the inner circle. We've also got different levels of programs as well. So as you know, because I think most of you on the call have bought products of ours at some point. But I'm moving a lot of our business into coaching, because I'm getting a lot better results by actually working live with companies now, as opposed to building online trainings that you do in your own time. We're now working more coaching, because the results we're getting are immense. And to be honest, from my own perspective, I get more of a buzz out of that than I do sitting behind the screen building a product and so forth. And that combined with consulting, it's great for me. So I've got the best of both worlds. I'm actually out in person, but I'm getting married back end of this year, and then we'll be having kids early next year. So I've had to change the structure of my business slightly. So hence I'm now moving more of it online, so I can have a family next year. I'm not sure what you mean. Again, I can't see who it is because it says friend. If you just give me a bit more clarity about that. Oh, okay. Now the call, what will happen in the actual steps are you fill out the form, fill out the application form. It's tidyurl.com/authority. I'll just make sure that it's there, okay? And you'll come to this page. If you fill out the questions on here, you see most of them are just basic questions, your name, etc. Right time to speak. Then we come down and say, what niche are you in? Why do you believe being the expert is going to help you? Just know a bit about your business. So once we've got an understanding about your business, then we can understand what's the main driver for you and about moving forward together, yes or no. But once you fill that out, we'll get back to you very quickly, and then I say we'll arrange a call and we'll take it from there in terms of actually speaking together. Again, thank you for the comment. I'm glad you're inspired. I'm not sure who that is, but say fill out that form. That's all it is, and then that will come through. And these are some of the things I want to actually be working with you and showing you as well. How to use surveys in the right way, but actually get you business through the process. So it's tidyurl.com/authority. Thanks for that, Mark. Yep. Okay. Thanks for that, Rachel. Yeah. Now, if you fill that out, Rachel, it's harmless. On the call, all we're going to do on the call, I just want to know about your business confidentially. I want to know where you are now. I want to know where you've been the last 12 months, where you want to be in 6 months. I want to know your mindset in terms of becoming the expert in your niche, and I want to know your understanding of what your niche is. Now, if the right components fit together, if I believe we can reach your target of what we set for 6 months' time, then we may choose to work together. But the reasons we won't work together is because I don't believe we've got realistic targets, and that can also mean you're aiming too low. But it's understanding, are we actually going to implement what we're working through? And I spoke to a gentleman, a lovely guy last week, and I just knew from the mindset speaking to him, he was in a very, how can I say this, stressful position with work, and I could tell that he was not in the frame of mind to actually be implementing these things, because he was on a hamster wheel, just making call, and I knew, and I didn't think it was the right time to ask him to join the inner circle, take an investment, because I didn't think he'd get the value from it. So I turned him away, and I was very open with him and said, no, come back in 6 months' time if things have changed. The sad thing is that I know we could transform his business, but I also knew his mindset. He wasn't in a place where he could commit to getting onto the group call each week and commit to actually working with us. So no, there are other individuals. I just know that straight away it's not going to be a good fit. And ultimately, I want to have fun doing this. And I think, for all my clients we work with, they testimonials we have, can tell that I truly care for them. So there's a fit all round. And of course, you need to choose to work with myself as well. So it is both ways. But what I do guarantee, though, is if you apply what we're showing you, keywords apply, you'll get results, guys. But if you don't actually join us, to change your mindset. But the problem is, it's like I go on these immersion weeks away with Tony Robbins, whereby for a week we don't eat, and we just eat wheatgrass, and we drink oil, and we meditate, and all these wonderful things. I know if I don't go away and get immersed with that and get that support from Tony Robbins and his team, I know that with my best intentions, I'll come home. I can say, right, this week I'm not going to eat. I'm going to drink wheatgrass. I'm going to meditate. I know by the half a day in, I'm fancying a chicken sandwich, or I know that half a day in I'll be on LinkedIn again, and my mind's full of work stuff, I know that I need to get that support and that immersion. So that's what you get with this. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to be respectful of time. I'm going to wrap up now. I think I've answered the questions that have come in a roundabout way. It's tidyurl.com/authority. So guys, absolute pleasure speaking with you. Hopefully you've got a lot from that, and judging by the comments that you have. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, connect with me. I'm sure we are already, but I'll look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Remember, guys, knowing is not enough. Get out there, get the advantage over your competition. Big year this year. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.